And with me now is Martin Papworth, who is a Liberal Democrat candidate standing in Broadway.
That's right. Yeah.
Got my details correct. That's a good start. Thank you for coming in. Why should the voters in Broadway choose you?
I suppose I'm local. I've lived in the centre of Broadway for over 20 years now. My children went to Sanborn and went on to Kingdown schools. I go to the local church at Christ Church. And I really care about it. I think it's such a lovely place to live. And I sort of feel that it's becoming less good rather than better. We'd like to build it up as a better community, get us to work together to make it better. And I'd like to play my part in that.
So what could be done differently then to make Warminster better, do you think?
Well, I think one thing that really concerns me is the cuts of youth services. My children benefited very much from music and sport and the sorts of things which are probably outside the school. The teachers do really well in actually sort of opening children's horizons, but I think the youth work enables children to be, particularly those perhaps who are less fortunate, to actually do better, to see that there are other possibilities. And the fact that it's dropped from 144 within the county to 7 is quite a worrying trend. Definitely, I would like to make that better.
And that's been, the cut's been made because Wiltshire Council's money is itself being cut. So if youth services are continuing, where do you think savings should be made?
It's hard to say. I don't think there's an easy way of answering that without actually getting in there and working with colleagues and councillors. But I would have thought the youth are not the people who should be suffering. Neither should social services and care for the elderly and those that have mental health needs, those sorts of things. They're not the sorts of things to be cut. And I hope, and I know the Liberal Democrats have argued for raising money through additional community taxes and things like that. And I think when you see year by year the amount we pay in council tax remaining much the same, yet everything else rises in price, it does seem rather mad that we're squeezed all the time rather than looking to make more money, really, and help each other as a community, keeping it for ourselves.
Housing is a big issue in Warminster.
Yes.
We're getting lots more houses. What's your view as a candidate on the housing that's coming to Warminster?
Well, my job is a weird one. I'm an archaeologist. I work for a leading conservation charity. Everything we do is about, I work on committees and in projects that deal with improving income, improving quality of visit, but then conserving the place as well, and balancing things in those ways. So certainly it's a real worry with our youth that the rents are rising, it's very hard to buy homes, so we must have more homes. It's really important to expand on those. But what we need to do is engage very closely with developers. Don't let them build anything. Make sure that the environments they create are beautiful environments, long-lasting environments. They've got the right number of services there. Community buildings, schools, right sort of drainage. They're built in the right areas to the right design. So the architecture and the environment are so important, as well as having enough homes for people so that they're cheaper and affordable enough for ordinary people to buy them.
And there's the the fields beyond St Andrews Road look as if building's about to get underway. And I know that a new access way has been found, so I'm told. With development coming to the Broadway area, what do you feel you can do if you're elected to make sure that those services are there? Because some could argue that the developers aren't always keen to provide those services.
Well, they must be made to account, mustn't it? That's the role of the council, isn't it? Is to enable the right things to be built, and it's not a question of being weak in those sorts of things. You have to work together as colleagues to get a vision. You can't say, not in my backyard. You've got to sort of make what's created as something beautiful and environmentally enhancing and serving the needs of the community. So, yes, as a councillor you engage in those things minutely, and of course, if I was elected I would do that.
Transport is another big issue in Warminster with new developments, particularly the east-west crossover. So what can be done to aid the flow of movement around the town, be it car or foot or any other form?
I suppose we've got our bypass. We need to encourage people to use local services more. So you don't want to cut bus services and those sorts of things. Encourage people to walk more, but if they have to drive everywhere, then be more sparing. Walk more, it's more healthy.
That's the answer. Walk more.
I mean, I'm the same. I could walk down the hill, or I could drive down there and make more. So yeah. So perhaps being a Liberal town council, we're very green, we're very environmental. So and also we'd say all the environment things in the coalition, they were thrown out when they in the last election. All those sorts of things about green transport, changing from encouraging green transport and the right sort of fuels for cars, and taxation incentives, those sorts of things. We need to look at those things. They're really urgent, and they're not discussed enough, I don't think.
So if you are elected, just to finish off, if you're elected on the 4th of May or the 5th, when I understand counting will take place, what would be the one thing, if you could pick it, that you would try to do in your time as a councillor?
Well, I'd like to listen and serve my constituents in the ward, and I'd want to make sure it was a better, more beautiful place. So I think I'd like to build a stronger economy and a fairer society by listening to the community and making it a better place. So I'm going to learn. If I'm elected, it'll be a wonderful new adventure, and it'll be very exciting to do, and I'll do my best to work with my colleagues to deliver a better Warminster.
Okay, thank you very much for coming in, and good luck on the 4th of May.
Thank you very much.